Okay, I'm going to try and finish up this review on this one video. So let's take a look at some of these word problems. In question number 19, you are being asked to write a formula for the sequence of the number of bacteria. Well, this is very similar to question numbers 1 and 8. And so again, you're going to start with the nth term formula. Let's determine whether or not it's geometric or arithmetic. When I look at these numbers, am I adding the same number to it or am I multiplying? Well, if I subtract these two off, I get 19, 19, 19. So it is arithmetic with d equal 19. So the nth term is going to be equal to the first term plus n minus 1 times d. And again, please have this memorized for tomorrow's test. Again, we're looking for pretty much just a formula, so we're not going to plug in anything for n. But we can replace the first term with 19 and n minus 1. And d was determined. It was 19 itself. And now we're just going to simply clean up this right-hand side to get a final answer. I'm going to distribute this 19 from the back door, so that'll be minus 19 plus 19n. And as you can see, we have a bunch of 19s here, but these two cancel out. And so the nth term is equal to 19n. And that would be letter D. Let's move on to number 20. Okay, on this one, you can pretty much just, you don't necessarily have to use a formula. This one isn't a very clear question in my opinion because we don't know if she makes 12 more from the previous day here, so luckily we have multiple choice answers and that kind of gives that away. But if she's making 12 baskets a day for 15 days, then you just simply take 12 times 15. And she started with 13, so then you're going to add a 13 to that. And when you do, you're going to get letter A. I doubt you'll see one like this on the test. It's just not as good as some of these other questions. This one we kind of did in class, similar one. We have a situation where we're stacking up cartons of soft drink, starting with a base of 15 and all the way up to 1 at the top. So we're going to use the sum formula, and again, it is going to be arithmetic because we're diminishing each row by 1, so D is equal to -1. And not that we have to know that for this particular formula, but that does let us know that we are going to use the arithmetic sum. And the arithmetic sum is n divided by 2, first term, plus the 15th term, or the nth term, the last term. So we're looking for the sum of 15 rows. So we're going to place that 15 over 2. The first row has 15 cartons in it, and the last row has, according to this, it has 1 at the top. And so when you put this into your calculator, you're going to get 120. And number 22, we're looking for, we have an arithmetic sequence, and basically this is the path of a projectile, and it's going from 26 to 44 to 62. We know it is arithmetic, and we know that we're going to find the sum here. So the sum formula for the nth term of an arithmetic is the same one we used previously. We have to know the first term and we have to know the last term. In this particular sequence, we don't know the last term of this, and we need to find that. So before we can really find the total sum, we've got to find the 7th term. And we're going to do that by plugging in the first term plus n minus 1, which is 6 because n is 7, and d we said was 18. And then when you calculate that, you're going to get 134. So let's go back over here. We're going to plug in a 7 and a 7 divided by 2, and we know that the first term is 26. And we just figured out the 7th term, which is 134. And when you put this into your calculators, you're going to get 560 feet. Again, you have to find the last term, and the last term is determined by this number here. So the 7th term, use the nth term formula. This is what you have to have memorized for the test. Okay, 23. This one is similar to the one we did in class, where a 4% raise is an increase, and that's what it's being multiplied every year by, is a 4% raise. You don't add 4%, that would be silly. So this one is going to be geometric. So we're looking for how much she will have gotten after 5 years. So we're looking for the sum. Whoops, let's back up. The sum of 5 salaries. And we know that her first year she made $17,000. And by the way, we are using this particular template where you take the first term, and it's going to be 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. And so this number inside the parentheses is going to be 1 minus r. Well, r is, if she got a raise, that's going to be 1.04. You're going to add 4% to her present salary, which is 100% of that. So she gets 104% the following year. We're going to raise that up to the 5th power because n is 5. And that's going to be 1 minus 1.04. And this is what you have to be real careful about putting into your calculator. So put the numerator in first, and then make sure you wrap up the denominator in parentheses when you put it in, and multiply it by 17,000. And when you do, you should get letter D as your answer. So check that out. Okay, next question. A rubber ball bounces. You got to be real careful with this one. I made the error of not reading it real well. It looks like your R factor is going to be, or excuse me, you're looking for the sum of 5, but really you're looking for the sum of 6 because it bounces. You're starting out at 10 feet, so let's call this 10, and it goes down, hits the ground, goes up, doesn't quite go back up to 10 feet, so it goes back up, then it hits the ground twice, goes back up, hits the ground again, goes back up, and hits the ground again. Again, so you're wanting to do this, the height after the 5th time it hits the ground. So this is when it hits the ground the first time, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time. So we have one more time to go up and back down, the 5th time. And so if you look at all these, you have looking for the height after it goes up the 5th time. So you're looking for this place right here. Okay, it looks like it's the same as that, but use your imagination there. So you're actually looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different heights there. So let's plug this in. The first term is 10. Again, we're using the same formula we did a second ago. And this is going to be 1 minus 3/5. And you can make that a 0.6 if you'd like. Raised to the 6th power, divided by 1 minus 0.6. Put that all into your calculator, and you should get letter B. All right, one more question. This one's almost identical. Thanks to 7th period, we figured out that it's not going to be 3. It's actually going to be 4 because of the same reasons we used before. So you're looking for how high the ball will rebound after its 3rd bounce. So you're not looking for the sum on this one, you're looking for the actual nth term, the 4th term. And again, you can draw yourself a picture here. It's going to hit the ground. It starts out here at 15 and hits the ground once, goes back up, comes back down, hits the ground twice, goes back up, comes back down, hits the ball or ground 3 times, and then it goes back up. And this is what you're wanting to find here. So this is the first bounce, the second bounce, the third bounce. What's the height of it after the third bounce? This is what you're looking for. So it's going to be the fourth term, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the initial height was 15, and R is 0.85, and you're going to raise that to the n-1 power, which is going to be 3. Again, this is the formula that you have to know for the test. The nth formula for a geometric is the first term times R, the n-1. So that's what all these values are. When you plug those in, you should get letter A as your answer. And that concludes the video. Good luck on your test tomorrow, and we'll see you Friday.